J.J. Carafano joining us for an early little
There is something that you can do.
A little snippet.
You personally as an individual to make the world safer for your children and your grandchildren. And that is listen to Almond in the Morning.
A little early appearance for old J.J. Carafano. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. I'm a little ambivalent about seeing this movie now that I've heard you talk about it. I wasn't going to see it, and then you started, and it's like, well, maybe I could see it, but then actually you really were like not making a super convincing case. No, maybe I'm not.
Well, it just depends on what's out there. But I have my 11-year-old son Aiden who's in with me right now. Say hi to Jim Carafano, will you, Aiden, please? Jim
Carafano. It's the brains of the family.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where, so you're limited choices, but I really liked it, and I liked it even more that there's so many people who don't like it. So
okay,
that's just how I feel about it. I thought it was great. People were like, well, you don't really understand why they even went to the island in the first place. It's like, I don't care. They went to the island so I could sit there for 2 hours watching them on the island.
Okay, well, this sounds like what's going on in D.C. between people, the way people talk about the Secretary of State and the actual Secretary of State.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, you almost have to turn off your radio. I mean, when I listen to stuff on these guys talk about stuff, it's just like, look, I know that it's not reality. I'm like talking to the people in the government. I know this is simply just not true. And a lot of people say, well, Tillerson is being cut out of the White House, and he's not effective, and he's kind of lost. And I think this guy's actually going to be really good. He's in Asia now. On a tour, he just went and just basically wagged his finger at the North Koreans. But he's a very, very serious guy, and he takes his job really seriously. And I actually think he's going to be quite good. So that's good.
Yeah, I like the fact that he didn't want to travel with the media, and they all freaked out.
Well, so the real story was that he just wanted to take a cheaper plane, and because they take the media. They have to take a much bigger plane, and it costs them like $400,000 more for the trip. And,
they didn't report that.
And all the media guys said, well, we pay for our tickets. I go, well, that's cool. I'm glad you pay for your tickets. But the reality is that doesn't come near to covering the cost of the plane. And so here's the Secretary of State who's looking at having to cut his department, and he's like, how can I justify to the people in the Department of State, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to cart journalists around the world when I'm cutting money, when we have to cut money in the operating budget of the department? That makes no sense. So I'm going to do things as efficiently as I can. That's just his statement. But the way it came out in the press is, Tillerson hates the press, which is totally not true.
Well, no. I think it's a great. They didn't report that he wanted to save money.
No, of course not. That's just not convenient.
Oh, okay. I just was wondering. I didn't hear that. I'm glad I hear things from you.
I know you guys don't track this stuff day to day. Actually, for some reason, the last couple of weeks, they've really been on a hiring binge. There's lots of people coming in, new announcements in Defense Department and some of the other departments, added people to the NSC. And so far, it looks like really solid picks. I mean, just very good, well-qualified, dependable people. So I'm just... I'm not a cheerleader because that's not my job. My job's not to cheerlead for the administration. My job's just to call balls and strikes.
Right,
but
sure.
The people I see coming in are solid. So I'm feel better for our country.
It's also interesting to watch the reaction of people who have been so grown up on watching the government spend money on things it's not tasked to spend money on. And so suddenly you want to increase the defense budget, and the left liberal media just flips out, when in fact that's probably one of the three things the federal government ought to be doing is spending money on defense.
Yeah, it's incredible, and oh my God, I don't know the ground truth on this kind of Meals on Wheels things if federal funding, but I'm like, does anybody really think that the federal government should be funding Meals on Wheels? Really?
Well, even if it did, though, it can do that and just stop funding public broadcasting. The people who are fans of the Meals on Wheels program ought to be going to their national public radio people saying, pay for your radio yourself so we can have meals for the elderly.
Well, look, I know these guys in public broadcasting think that they are virtuous and they have no politics and anything else. But I got to tell you, that's simply not true. I was listening on radio coming this morning. They were talking about these cuts. They had on left-wing critics.
Of course.
And they just went on forever, and there were no challenged assumptions, no analysis, just putting people on there spouting this, and then literally in their narrative and coverage, having a very partisan point of view, and then claiming that I went over to an unnamed public television outlet, and afterwards the guy said, "Hey, you were great. Can we have you back?" He goes, "It's so hard. We're very nonpartisan here, but it's so hard finding people on the other side that seem like they make sense."
Oh,
okay, like, give me a break. And no, I think that was supposed to be a compliment, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. All the pigs are squealing who have been so used to hanging out at the public trough. They just can't fathom the idea.
Let's make them squeal.
I mean,
Yeah. I can't believe you talked that way in front of your son.
Let's make them squeal. I like Joni Ernst. Hey, hey, buddy, listen. Go see the Kong. Okay.
I might have to now, just because you said that. But if it's bad, I'm coming to get you.
It depends on what you think is bad.
I have pretty high standards.
Oh, you do? Okay, I have pretty low ones, so I was fine. I was perfectly okay.
Yeah, well, that's true.
All right,
you
brother.
Have low standards. All right, good talking to you, brother.
Hey, JJ Carafano, at JJ Carafano. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, Jimmy, take care.